Bird flu is back, and we need to talk about it, friends, because this is already causing some significant issues with the egg supply out there. We have 4 million birds just put down in just the past couple of weeks, and this is already impacting egg availability in certain portions of the U.S., and it's going to impact a lot more going forward. And now, even worse, we have cows coming down with bird flu, or at least testing positive for bird flu. Milk is being dumped out. So they went after eggs, and now they're going after milk, friends. We got a lot to talk about, and what this really means for the globalist agenda and all that. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. I am reporting to you from India right now. I'll be back in the next week or so. But until then, we're going to keep you updated on what's going on. It's kind of nice being able to check in on the news and everything like that while you guys are sleeping, and get you the best, up-to-datest, most information out there. So we have a poultry outbreak of bird flu in the Philippines. So it's not just the United States, but we are seeing mostly it restricted to birds in other countries. India has some bird flu outbreaks here, but not super serious. They don't have as many of the commercial farms as other parts of the world, like the United States. But the big deal is, of course, the fact that cattle in the United States are starting to get bird flu. We have 16 farms across 7 states where cattle, and a lot of these are milk cows, right? And that's super problematic because they're dumping out a lot of milk, and they're also looking at slaughtering the cattle. They're also talking about implementing hoof and mouth disease, basically quarantine. So that would basically restrict interstate transport of all cattle, beef or milk cows, so you won't be able to move them across state lines. Also, there's a bunch of other things in there about starting to use federal funds to slaughter cattle that have tested positive in order to keep that from spreading. They're seeing so far that apparently that they're finding the bird flu on the udders of cows. And apparently they're thinking it's the suction milk devices that go on to milk them is spreading it from cow to cow, and that's kind of how it's going from cow to cow. Of course, that's still speculation at this stage. It could be that they're spreading it respiratory or other bodily fluids and stuff like that. Cows are kind of disgusting, so they do share some things with each other. So we're still finding out exactly how contagious this is. But of course, they're big mammals, and we're mammals. So right, cattle getting sick from bird flu is a big problem. And previous incidences of bird flu inside humans have been a very high mortality rate. So that's one of the reasons why they're so concerned about this. If this highly infectious contagion that spreads like wildfire through bird populations, if it is even remotely contagious inside humans and has the lethality level that they've seen it in the past, this could be very, very big problem. This could make the cough look like nothing else. And if you saw how much power and authority and all the rules that they implemented when they had the cough to deal with, just imagine what they will take if they have a much more viral, much more potent infection spreading across the country. And of course, they're using this opportunity to go after backyard chickens. Of course they are. They're going after eggs that do not come from commercial farms. They're taking this opportunity to go after raw milk. They're taking this opportunity to go after cattle ranchers because they don't want you eating beef in the first place. So the CDC has convened an urgent bird flu outbreak meeting, which they've told state health officials to get ready for more human cases. So they're concerned that this is looking like it's crossing over. We're seeing a lot of other animals that have been impacted by this. We've seen sea lions down in South America heavily impacted by this. It's devastated a lot of sea lion populations down there. We've also seen goats inside the United States. So we're seeing this crossing over to other species, and this is very concerning. So they're definitely going to keep an eye on this going forward, and we should be too. So how do we deal with this? If you don't have any cattle, well, the first thing is, you're probably not going to catch it from them. Birds, most people who have gotten bird flu in the past have been in direct contact with birds. They're either working at farms, they're cleaning out, bird cages, they're moving birds from here to there, they're harvesting eggs, they're, whatever they're doing, they're having a lot of direct contact with birds. There's only one person in the United States that has bird flu right now, that has caught it, one human, and that person had direct contact with birds, so it did not seem like it came from the cattle there as well. So right now, we're not seeing major problems. Of course, doing this with fabric or something like that is really not going to help you out. As we've said consistently, unlike some people out there who have been very inconsistent in what they've said, this does not do very much for you, and that's not something you really can count on. Isolating yourself completely from the general population, that works. It's crazy, but it works, and you won't be able to get it from other people if you do isolate like that. But all that to say, what can you do if this does start spreading very widely? Pull back. If you have food supplies at home, stay home for a bit and let things kind of burn out. What you're going to be waiting for is if this starts running through the human population. We talked about this with the curve and herd immunity and stuff like that before. We weren't allowed to talk about that anymore. So basically, you'd be looking at humans getting to herd immunity from bird flu. That's what we'd be looking for right now. With how contagious it is, we don't know how long that would burn through the population, and we don't know how lethal it would be to humans. We have seen things that have been very troubling so far over the past several decades when humans have had interactions with bird flu with very high mortality rates. So if this does start to spread big, it should be, at least initially, should be treated with extreme caution, because we're talking about mortality rates that are like, a lot higher. We're talking about 40-50% of people, potentially dying from that. And so very high rates on that. But as of now, we have not seen human-to-human transmission of that, and we've seen very, very few humans get it in the first place. But we are seeing more and more mammals out there starting to fall to this. Like I said, sea lions, cattle, goats, wild animals, wild mammals, and such like that. So that is concerning that we're seeing so many species starting to get this. And of course, you have to ask the question of why does it seem like so many animals are getting this thing? It's almost like somebody's out there spreading it to more mammals in order to try to get it to mutate so that it will jump to human beings. If that's what somebody was really being nefarious, they would get samples of bird flu and they would go out to wild animals and start, manually giving it to them so that the virus inside of them would have opportunity to mutate to more species potentially. So is that happening in the United States? Well, we don't know who's in the United States, so who knows? What was happening at those Chinese biolabs inside the United States? Were they trying to weaponize it or help it to mutate here in the United States? We don't know that either because, of course, our government doesn't talk to us at all. All these questions are legitimate questions. Is this just happening, or is this being helped along by malicious actors? Or even by a malicious government. whether it's a foreign government or whether it's our own government doing this to us. We don't know. All these things, trust is at an all-time low, and I promise you it's going to go even lower in the near future. We're seeing all sorts of crazy things that we never thought we'd see in our lifetime, but they are happening in our lifetime. What will happen in our children's lifetimes? I don't know. I don't want to know. But that's where we are. At what point do we hit the breaking point? But if this turns into a major pandemic of bird flu amongst the human population, that is a huge concern. And it should be a huge concern. That's why the CDC is kind of freaking out about it. That's why other organizations in the U.S. government, as well as civilian organizations, are also concerned about that as well. We're not seeing much happening overseas. No other countries are really getting super worried about this just yet. Just the United States, and that is mostly due to the fact that the cattle issue is now happening, and that is really concerning. Of course, that's happening just as they're trying to get us off beef, and people are pushing back on that, like, I'm not going to eat your lab-grown meat, I'm not going to eat your bugs, I'm going to eat my beef, right? Beef prices are through the roof, and they're about to go sky high due to the fact that our cattle herds are at over 70-year lows. We have less cattle now than we did in the 1950s. That's a long time ago. We had a much smaller population, and we have a lot more people here, a lot more people eating beef, and all these people going on the carnivore diet, right, to protest against the vegans, right? So we got the vegans out there trying to save animals, and then we got the people out there trying to kill as many animals as possible on the carnivore diet, right? I know that's not the heart of it. It's for health reasons and everything like that. But all that to say is that we got a lot of beef consumption in the United States, and we have a lot less supply. This is going to come to a head. Prices are going to go through the roof. Right now, we're still we still have a little bit of a glut of supply, and we also have a bunch in frozen storage. So that's why prices haven't gotten ridiculous just yet, but that may be changing in the very near future. All right, friends, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. There's a link right there that you can subscribe to. Just click the link and hit yes to the subscribe, and you'll be on this channel. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.